Yeah.
Cards
Hey,
with
cool. Let's go to the next one.
All right.
I've
Yeah.
been
The
waiting
next
my
one
whole
is
life for this one, man, boy.
Captain America Winter Soldier, came out in 2014. Personally, I think it's probably a bit decent, but before I get into my thing, Buck, it's you, man.
Whoever gave this score needs to see me.
This is the
Who
first this is the first film directed by the Russo brothers, by the way, in the MCU.
who 6.7? Who like yo,
disgusting.
IMDb? Whoever rated this, give me your credentials because you don't understand movies. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is a 6.7.
Okay,
Bro,
go
this
on,
is
go
the
on.
movie that made people love Captain America because let's be honest, even in Avengers, everybody was like, "Ah, Captain America is like my third favorite
Mm.
or whatever. His suit is kind of goofy or whatever. Like, what's so special about this guy, really?" And all of us who love Captain America one, Captain America Winter Soldier takes all of that stuff and steps it up even more. Like
Mhm.
everything you love about Cap is crystallized in this film. Like from the fact that he's going rogue, because that's another thing people don't understand about Captain America. They keep thinking he's a government stooge. That guy goes rogue every Tuesday.
And I like, I like the fact that um he was even having issues trusting Natasha, especially in the first scene, in the first part of the movie. Yeah, because it was like,
Yeah,
okay, so clearly you and Fury are on a different mission than I am here. Like, what's
yes.
going
Like
on?
this is the movie that reminds us that Shield is still a spy organization. Like that's the thing that I think part of the MCU has lost is that Shield is still like an arm of the government, and they still like are trying to keep secrets and things and all of that stuff. And like Captain America, he comes from World War II, where it was simply get the Nazis, destroy the bad guys. So you get to see that there's a big conflict in this movie between those two ideologies because the world is now more complicated than Captain America remembers. But he still has to he's still him. He can't shake the he can't fight like he can't fight his better nature, which is also part of why in Civil War the way that it is, he's just like we are the best hands at this because where he comes from, it was soldiers that decided things, not politicians, if you get
Mhm.
what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
this movie was fire from top to bottom. Winter Soldier, when Winter Soldier came in, that was a foil for Captain America in a lot of ways, and the fact that we discovered it was Bucky who was brainwashed, which is a direct pull from the comic books. Like that's another thing. This movie showed you what happens when you adapt comic books, make changes, but still respect the source material. How you can get a really awesome film because the Russos said we have to make Captain America cool. So they went because they didn't find Captain America cool growing up. So they went through his comic books to scrub and see what they could pull to make a cool Captain America movie. And I'm telling you, this is the poster boy for using source material to inspire your work. Like if anybody ever says don't use the source material, I always point to Winter Soldier to be like they did it. Like
It can be
Hydra's
done.
involved. Bucky is white mind wash. These are things from the comic books. You just need to change them for the medium of film or whatever. And a shout out to Falcon. Falcon is kind of cool, but he doesn't get to really beat anybody. And also, he had a line that really annoyed me, where he's just like, "Hey, don't look at me. I just do what he does, but
Ah,
Just
slower."
slow,
yes.
just
I'm
slower.
so glad
Ah,
you said that.
idiot!
But I'm gonna get
Captain
into it.
America can't fly.
I
You
can do
throw
what it.
Captain America in
I,
the
I,
sky, he's dead.
I
Ugh.
can do what he does, just slower. Dude, Frank Grillo kicked your ass. Like,
Like that's part of the reason why people aren't really hyped for Brave New World like that because I'm like the MCU constantly gave Falcon L's.
Yep. Yeah, give it
This
Ant-Man.
is,
Yeah, they handed him an L for free in Ant-Man. Just for no
yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. I was like,
reason.
we're coming up on another one where Falcon just got an L for no reason.
For free.
it's not gonna happen again, Tic Tac.
Yeah, that's my spiel. We can move on to somebody else.
What's your rating?
Oh, my rating. Sorry, my rating. Ah, this is a solid 9.
9. Wow.
Dude,
Jeez.
this movie
Okay.
is fire.
All right, Buck, on your left. Zooks.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. Nice reveal to see who the Winter Soldier was. Cap was solid as being Cap. Actually, I don't really have a lot to say about this movie. I enjoyed it. It was solid, man. Give it an 8.
Oh, Rob?
Okay, I think this movie like probably rocked my world so well because basically, give me 1 second. Gotta put this man's details in. Okay, 8 you said. Okay, cool. Basically, what this movie did was, oh gosh, okay, it kind of established in my mind what a set piece is. There's something me and Kutsu have discussed about the art of a set piece. Everyone knows, of course, the got it. Nick Fury police when we meet the Winter Soldier for the first time, when Nick Fury gets attacked, that whole sequence from boom to Nick Fury running away in the ground. It was directing at its finest, where you get to really see this. Like that really inspired me as a director. So I really love the results. I love the fact that it's like they put so much thought in these little moments where you can really build from Nick Fury, and then they evolved it even further with what Buck said about making Captain America look so cool. I mean, him jumping from the helicopter and landing on the boat. I mean, jumping from the helicopter without a parachute, like that
With
was not something I
using
knew.
his shield.
Yeah, I didn't know he could do that. Like that was okay. Maybe he's not garbage. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe he's not just some guy who's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, look, I think you and I spoke about this before. Josh, we didn't really know how to use Captain America. These guys knew how to use Captain America.
And the way the chase, oh my god, when he runs through the doors, like to chase the Winter Soldier, like jumping, was it building to building, if I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Amazing. And then of course, what is it? The one
Like he hops through the walls with the shield. It was
Yes.
kind of really cool.
hot damn, like, and then of course taking down the airplane, and then dude, everything came the sequence to sequence, step by step by step, leading into another step. I cannot gush more about a more directorial showcase of action than this movie, where it's action but it makes sense. Like the John Wick people need to take notes of how you can make a storyline make sense and then you still get cool action. I love John Wick, but what was that poker thing? What was happening? Do you know what I mean? Like I really enjoy this so much. Solid 9.1 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
I think we watched John Wick because we were held at gunpoint. The fourth one.
Yes. They kidnapped our wallet.
Hey dog, our dogs were kidnapped and we had no choice. We only got them back after we finished it.
I mean, if you're watching a movie and the credits say Donnie Yen and then they also say Scott Adkins, you would want to watch the movie.
Dude, I fell asleep. I finally finished that movie like on my fourth attempt. Dog. I literally and it's an action movie. I don't need thought. I just need to watch like 2 lines, scope, 2 lines, scope. Like I didn't need much to get me going. But like
the best action. It's some of the best.
And the action is so dope. I think that's the worst part. Like how am I falling asleep?
It's trying to be something it's not. It's not a deep movie, but it's trying to be
Yeah.
one.
So Jordan, you next, ne?
Yeah. So for me, this movie was spoiled. Like my best friend gave me like the reveal about Bucky before I even watched it. It's kind of like the whole Jiraiya's death thing. So it didn't affect me the way it did with everybody, like because that was already spoiled. But look, for me, I think this movie took things up a notch. I think when the Russo brothers came in, they really upped the stakes. Like I said, the Shane Black Iron Man 3, I love watching it, but for me, it felt like a letdown, especially after Avengers. Captain America's Winter Soldier, for me, after Avengers, makes sense in terms of quality, in terms of the writing, in terms of action sequences, in terms of how they treat Captain America and so on. Everything just looked incredible. The only thing that I think I have an issue with, but I wouldn't blame it on the Russo brothers in this particular movie is that the Black Widow was terrified of the Winter Soldier, but you see her fighting Proxima Midnight in Infinity Game, Infinity Wars. You're like, why are you afraid of the Winter Soldier if you're gonna be fighting a whole Proxima Midnight later on?
This is the problem with the MCU. Just a quick side note. If they had stuck to some of the comic book stuff, because in the comic books, Black Widow gets something called the Infinity Formula, which is like equal to the Super Soldier Serum. So if
Mhm.
between movies she got like the Infinity Formula, and they said, "Yeah, we injected this into your veins, and it makes you quote unquote a super soldier," and then she's boxing with Proxima Midnight, it makes more sense than just her and Team Acrobatics fighting off aliens. But anyway.
No,
Team
welcome,
acrobatics.
welcome, Remy. It's good to see you, bro.
Good to
Okay,
see
so
you.
as I was saying, the action sequence is amazing. I think we were all hyped when we saw Bucky fight Cap for the first time with the with the knife.
Mm.
That close hand-to-hand combat fight choreography. I mean, it was amazing to a point where YouTube was just filled with what if Dick Grayson was fighting the world? Jason Todd. What, like it was just everywhere. It was just everywhere. And I think also Nick Fury gets a lot of screen time in this one. There's a lot of because if you remember, Phase Two was more about Hydra infiltrating Shield for the most part. That was the main theme of Phase Two, if you guys remember correctly.
Mm.
Um, to a point where they realized that even some Shield operatives are within and all of that. And also, we haven't spoken about this before already, but if we're being honest, Robert Redford was amazing in this movie, even though his role is not that big, but he was a villain in this movie, and he played the role very well. Um, yeah, this movie is great. I think you could say that the Winter Soldier is a bit overpowered, or you could say that Cap didn't want to fight his friend. But Sam Wilson, for me, this is his best moment in this movie. I would say this movie, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's where he really shines the most, for me, in my opinion.
Actually,
But yeah, I really liked it. I'd give it I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
one thing to what you're saying there. I think you kind of right. It kind of makes you think about writing, right? About how you get the cerebral villain. But the way they made they made Winter Soldier so powerful. He was like the physical villain,
Mm,
where
yeah,
it was, again there were no
like
grand
Bane
plans.
in Dark Knight Rises.
See, Bane had grand plans. This man doesn't. He's
But remember, later we
No, but
realized that
I think
Blaine,
that's
him specifically.
what the,
Bane was
what this movie
following
does
orders.
brilliantly. I think what this movie does brilliantly is that it's still Cap versus Hydra,
Yeah,
but it's him fighting an entity. It's not him fighting like a person. It's not like he's fighting Red Skull's ideology instead of Red Skull, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right,
definitely.
right.
But the idea of a physical villain is like an underused concept. I don't know if you guys understand. Like outside of a boxing movie, like you don't really get to see that often. Where like someone isn't just smarter than you, but like, oh no, they come in and you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do when they show up, kind of thing. I really like that about Bucky. Like he really gave you a sense of fear. Like I'm
Mhm,
talking about how Guy Pearce wasn't as intimidating. You know
mhm,
what I mean? Whereas Bucky was absolutely intimidating.
right.
That's great. I just
Mm. Like when Bucky came on the screen, you were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I think even the camera slowed down, didn't it? Like
Yeah.
That
So
like, and
the whole
and I don't know, maybe it was also the angles they used or whatever. But like when he came on screen, you felt, and when like when Killian when he changed into the his serum thing, they still you still felt like he's this cool nerd or whatever,
yeah,
this nerd who's trying too hard.
exactly. But yeah,
Sorry,
any
but I think you were trying to say something, but we can't hear you anymore. I don't know what's going on. We can't hear you
can you
properly
hear me
anymore.
now?
Yeah, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying also when he caught the shield, I
mm,
think that's what solidified it as because nobody's caught that freaking shield ever since Cap threw it in and Captain America won.
So that
That
thing just
shield that defies physics.
by physics.
Mm.
yes.
No, but how
Um,
does the shield boomerang back? It's round.
And Spider-Man says that. He's
no,
like, how
but
does this work?
I
yeah,
think it's the
I mean
vibration.
they sort of tried to explain it in Age of Ultron. I think he has like a magnetic thing on his arm or something, if you guys
No,
Yeah,
remember.
but
the way
first
it's
Avenger,
explained
you
is
didn't have
because of super soldier brain.
Yeah, that's the general explanation. Yeah, is that he's doing trigonometry literally in like a split second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Cyclops, but instead of a visor, he's using a shield.
Well, I heard from, I don't know if it would this count as canon though, but they remember like they had like that whole Ultimate Universe. If any of you have ever heard of it, there was
Yes.
the comics were not so good. But the movies explain that Cap's shield, because of the way vibranium behaves, it tends to absorb so much kinetic energy that it has to discharge it somewhere. So the shield does this thing that just bounces off. I don't know how far true that is. I don't know if that's canon to the MCU, but that's one explanation we got from the whole shield thing.
It makes sense. Yeah, the vibration's bouncing. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. So next person is Dushane.
Yeah, I think Duchesne, please come through, and then afterwards, Remy will
Yeah, Remy
give
will.
us his full review.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just keep mine quick also on my side. Brilliant movie overall, I'd say. I think one of the great differences that we saw with this movie was the fact that, as I complained about earlier with the earlier movies, was the CGI was so bad, bro. So with this one, I think because of the fact that they made it more quote unquote street tier, you know, it was more believable. It was more gunfights, John Wick style, so to
Grounded.
speak.
It was more grounded.
Yeah, it was mercenaries, people with guns, and you know, it wasn't necessarily magic and all of that all the time. So I think that made the quality of the movie better, I'd say, right? Because there weren't so many fake elements. Captain America, oh, no, yes, Captain America had also a few memorable scenes. So I like movies that have a lot of memorable scenes, like the elevator scene where Captain America is chilling there with a bunch of the Hydra guys, and he's like, okay, before he gets started, you know. So those type of moments that live on, and you're like, okay, this is what I remember about the film. I think that's what makes it great. Um, Great villain, right? Complain about the villains before, but oh yeah, Bucky was just yeah, and I think the other dynamic for him was also the fact that there was emotional gravity from him, from the hero to the antagonist, and the fact that they're friends. You're fighting someone who's clearly trying to kill you, and who can? Oh my God, can they kill you, right? But at the same time, you really don't want to fight this guy at the same time. So from Captain America's perspective, how do you deal with that? So I think the movie kind of went into that pretty well, I'd say. Yeah, man, it was all around pretty solid. It was a very memorable movie without the CGI. Oh, thank God, you know. But yeah, it was really really good. I can't really complain too much about it. I'll probably give this one a 9, bro, overall.
And then it's Remy LeBeau.
Yo, Remy, you up?
Yes, sir. I'm up.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead, bro.
Get it, man.
All right, what do I got today? Winter Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I thought about it, I kind of like they carried a lot of the same tone from the first Avenger, but what I like about this one is that Cap is reduced to bare bones in the sense that he has to go into hiding. And I love that aspect that it challenges the symbol of what Captain America is. Is he still like a government GI issue, or is he his own autonomous person who gets to decide what he wants? So essentially, I like that whole dynamic because it really brings out those type of philosophical questions about Captain America being anti-establishment, which is pretty cool. And the action scenes, wow, especially the elevator one, the fact that it's a meme that still lives till this day. I kind of like Frank Grillo's character. You know, the Frank
Yeah.
Grillo guy, the one who was in the elevator.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Crossbones.
Crossbones.
Best B movie action stars.
Yeah, he is not gonna lie. He was kind of underrated as like a secondary antagonist. Like he was just always there to be, pushing cat buttons, and that elevator scene was cool. And not gonna lie, Black Widow was also underrated in this whole thing. You know, I liked this movie in the sense that it brought her a spy type of feeling. Usually, whenever she's always in the Avengers, she doesn't feel like a spy. Like not like we know it from the comics. In the comics, infiltrating Russian syndicates. The whole thing with the Red Room. It feels more like she really is a spy. the moment she gets mixed together Avengers, you kind of lose that element, and you're like, oh, okay, here's the lady who wears the jumpsuit and the baton. So I like that aspect as well as the last scene when they switch back to the original costume. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fanboy for that one. The OG costume was pretty cool. It felt really, really rugged and well shaped, as well as yeah, even the costume design with the darker costume. They try to give Cap a more Black Opsy look. It was good. There's a good touch on that one, as well as Falcon. He was really a really, really awesome character. Look on your left type guy, and I like how they touched on his past history, give us context as to which brand of the army is, because it really felt grounded. No CGI, no grand magical battles, interdimensional threats. It was just something that was grounded. That you felt that it had that mature storytelling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No blue lasers from the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, no blue lasers from the sky. So as a rating, I'd probably give this one a solid 9.
I do have one criticism, and I guess it's just the criticism that follows. It's just kind of like you couldn't call the Hulk at all one time.
Yeah, his banner busy.
What makes it fun, dude? That the Hulk is like volatile. Like you can't just have him conveniently there all the time. Because you could bring him into the fight.
Hulk smash those helicarriers.
Yeah, one time, put him inside there, turn him on, sorted.
Oh, and another thing that I did have is that like, I mean, again, it's a thing in retrospect, and I guess it's a problem that follows the MCU, but it's not a big problem at this time in the MCU. But it's kind of like, Tony, you hacked the whole of Shield, and you didn't see any of Hydra.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, level 1 hack.
All right. So